shot. There you go. Yeah, that way everyone's in shot. Some shots. Okay, so this is our first group meeting for our A2 media project, which is based on our music, video, and also our ancillary task of creating an album cover and a website for our project. And this is our first initial ideas meeting, which is us talking about the actual concept of what we're doing. And next to the video, we'll have a picture or capture or something of the notes we're taking here. And then we'll talk about it afterwards in writing stuff. But before that, we're actually going to start talking about the ideas that we have for our video. So the first idea I had was that we would we're doing a drum and bass music video,
which is concept based. It's going to be abstract with our own little artistic edge to it.
From the research that
unrelated we did. Visuals to lyrics.
Yeah, it's not going to be related to it at all because that's what our target audience wanted. It's going to be.
So then that would just give us freedom on whether the relationship of the visuals and music or the lyrics and the music itself would be strong or weak. So it just gives us more freedom.
Yeah. They also said they wanted something artistic and unrelated. Yeah. So because that, it gives us a lot of freedom to work with, and we can really just go to town on it really, and do. And
I told the audience is 15 to 18-year-olds.
So we're going to base it
energetic.
Quite young and energetic. And we're going
to just pretty much focus on a distinct and artistic approach.
Yeah. It's more like symbolism.
Yeah. So the two music videos I was looking at more than anything was Rudimental, which are a drum and bass group from the UK, and they are in the mainstream culture right now because they are the first all-black drum and bass group from the UK, which is really strange because usually the drum and bass artists in the current era are mainly white males, and there are other artists like Razor Lee and Kaita that are female drum and bass artists but aren't really well known. But Rudimental became popular due to their stereotyping and breaking conventions, and also Coldplay's Paradise, because they have a really weird video in that the video for them is based off of the lead singer in a elephant costume, and I was thinking we'd do the same thing, as in costume wise, because the video is quite artistic in the means that it does it. It's not really related to the lyrics, but it is sort of, because they're talking about getting to paradise and he's leaving this captive land and walking towards his own paradise.
It lets the audience interpret.
Yeah.
I was looking at Amber by Labyrinth here. It's not drum and bass, but it's a very abstract video with like strong symbolism and unrelated visuals. So I think that's a really good example of a concept-based video.
Yeah. So we'll also look at Amber, which will be good for more depth and context. But I was really thinking about having someone dressed in a costume for the lead protagonist in the music video. It's just something that's not really been done, and it's out there a bit, and it's quite artistic, and will pay off in such a way that it is.
Similar to that, I Get Lucky song with what's the name?
Daft Punk.
Daft Punk are a mask.
Yeah. It's about anonymity and keeping it about the music rather than about presenting yourself in such a way, which again links to the target audience that we have and what they want.
To go back to the idea of branding yourself and style.
Yeah, branding and stuff. So we got that down. So I was thinking about the costume, and I want to know if it's okay with you guys, and think if we should roll with that or we should also consider other ideas.
Well, I think that's a good idea because it conceals the facial features, which leads into the idea of vagueness or maintaining that anonymity. You know?
Okay.
So I think that.
And also we need to talk about what kind of costume then. And so we have the idea of the main character.
Is it a full body costume?
I don't know. Well, we should probably talk about that more than anything. So we have the main character, we have the costume.
So example of a full body costume is Coldplay Paradise.
Yeah.
The example of Just a Mask is that poster we left from before about
Daughter Youth.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
it.
and that is it's a album cover for a band called Daughter, and it was a single for an EP, and it was called Youth, and it has 5 men completely unrelated to the band. They're just friends of the band themselves, and they're just standing in a field with masks on, and they're wearing normal clothes, it's like jeans, t-shirt, and everything, but it's different, and it's not usually the whole.
Stands out to other.
Yeah, because in the main market right now, it's usually people that are selling themselves. So examples is like Tiny Temper with his album covers. They're just a picture of him with loads
Wearing
of
glasses.
wearing glasses and just wearing like branded clothes and having loads of items and random pictures thrown in. Same with Miley Cyrus's new album. It's just a picture of her face, really close up to the thing. And you can argue that that's part of the deal that they have with their record label and stuff. But again, we want to get away from that. It's very mainstream to do that, and we've clearly got from our target audience the feedback that they want to have something that's artistic and it's different. And so we're going to stick with that a bit much. So back to the costume, we have the full thing of Paradise from Coldplay, and we have the idea of just the masks. But I'm feeling that if it's a full body costume, it should be one person, and if it's masked, there should be a multiple of people. Just because, I don't know, it just kind of sticks in my mind a bit more.
I'm sort of swaying towards the full body costume, but it stands out a lot more.
So single.
Because we're going to be going to like train stations, bus stop stuff, and it stands out to everyday casual wear.
Okay. So you're saying contrast that
So what
with
you're
the
saying is
average
that,
day.
if one person just wears the full costume, it would just look more appealing to all.
Yeah, it will contrast the everyday glamness that you see in London. So I'm liking the idea. And we've also got about to think of which costumes we want to do.
Do you want a costume to like have a meaning, like symbolism?
I know, we could also ask the artist that we're looking at to see if he has anything in this. Because I mentioned the idea of the costume to him and he was okay with it, but if we really want to have a link with him, we could always ask him and see what he wants.
It could help put the message of the song could help there.
It also helps link him to the video.
Sure.
So we will ask him, and that is a drum and bass artist that's on SoundCloud right now. It's a rather small following of people listening to him, and he goes by the name of A Naked Wookie. And so we'll ask him what he thinks of it. So we have the main character kind of done. So if everyone's okay with that, I think we should explore that a bit more and go into a bit more depth with the research on that.
So then, but would you have a backup plan of having the idea of just a multiple number of people just wearing half masks? So
Yeah, we've also got to look into price.
Yeah.
Because it will probably cost money to rent the costume out. We can see if we can talk to people and see if we can get a costume in that won't cost money. But if it costs too much, I don't think we will go with the costume, and it might be easier for us to go with the idea of the multiples and masks.
Yeah.
I think that will work just as well. But I think we'll have to change the narrative slightly.
Yeah.
We'll come to the narrative, but we have to vary it slightly due to who we're casting and everything. Because if it's one person, the narrative will change slightly, whereas if it's multiple people, because we'll have to think of the narrative for each character rather than just one. So the backup is multiple masks. Think of narrative. And I'll link we'll probably link some ideas of what costumes we have for the actual thing. But of course, we'll go with what the artist wants.
A sort of animal costume.
Animal costume I like the idea of because it's done in Paradise as well. But we'll have a look at other ones because he is a naked Wookiee, and maybe the problem is that he wants a Wookiee costume from the Star Wars ones in this thing because it relates it directly back to the artist. But of course, we got to recognise what he wants and things like that. So we'll think of that stuff. So narrative-wise, what do you think should happen?
I don't think there should be a clear narrative. I think if we're doing a concept-based video,
Just
there
have
should
it
be
random.
unrelated visuals.
What, like the change the status video?
Yeah, like change the status.
What was the name of it?
Which one?
The one that we saw that.
Lost and not found.
Yeah, I think it was that one. Which
The
is,
one where
yeah,
it's
with
one
the narrative.
continuous shot.
Yeah, and then with the narrative just being totally different to the
Yeah,
lyrics.
that's a clear narrative, but it's a worse at the end.
Yeah,
I like it.
So something like
That was into the editing technique. Like, our shooting style. What
Yeah.
are we gonna do? One
Yeah.
continuous shot. Are we gonna minute?
I don't think we'll do one continuous shot because if we're having,
difficult.
it will be difficult. It will be, but it'll be
Well,
more
if
rewarding.
if it's drum and bass though, it's an energetic.
Yeah,
music,
it's
so it
really
needs to be
energetic.
like
You don't
that.
really want it to be that
You
slow.
want to
Yeah.
stick to the convention.
But then again, Chasing Status is drum and bass, and Lost and Not Found
Yeah.
is drum and bass, and does it really well. But I'm thinking that if we go back to what you're saying about how
I think
if we
that
contrast the
Lost and
full
Not
body
Found-
suit with the everyday, and we have the settings as like on trains or buses in heavy populated places, that the continuous shot will be difficult because we have that randomness of everybody
Yeah.
else in
People
there.
walking past and stuff. Yeah.
And we also got to think of if it's one continuous shot for a 3-minute song, that means if one thing goes wrong 2 minutes 30 in, we have to redo the entire thing.
I don't think it was really a chasing status trick. Anyway, it was a director, Alex Alford.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
the first and edit it.
Yeah.
It was his idea. No, I think we should stick with rapid shots like convention, because it's a conventional drum and bass.
Okay. So I like the idea of having the suit contrast the everyday and
If we're
having that.
like CGI effects, remember when we watched that video and the guy got ink in the water, so that
We could do that. That's an interesting
Just
idea.
to show off our editing skills.
We could do it. It breaks up the scenes more, so it's not continuous. And
Yeah.
It could be this real simple contrast between this energetic thing and it slows it down. And I think it works. I think it might work actually. So we'll have a look at
I
that.
think that's, but it's more abstract than anything. Like
Yeah.
So are we just gonna shoot in urban areas, or are we gonna go to any like forest or countryside? Or anything?
We could. I'm very partial to a place in, it's not far from here, by Greenford. It's called Horsingland Hill,
Yeah.
and I filmed 2 of my films there, and it's really, really good. It's really open for like really nice setting shots, and then it's really densely
It'll be
populated
good.
trees.
It'll be good for like, establishing shot, or even just a shot where one person is just standing in a massive field by themselves.
And plus it would be good with the new camera tool that we've got, the fish lens.
Fishlands, yeah.
So that could be ideal.
That is an idea. So that also goes with the contrast that we're trying to put forward,
Yeah.
because it contrasts between the heavy populated and then the woodlands.
Yeah, I think.
Heavy populated into the woodlands.
But again, we have to run this by naked wiki.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just release that conversation.
So we have the idea of the contrast, which I like. It is different because I can't think of much music videos where they focus heavily on contrast within the video itself. I mean, there are options like Jay's video Tessellate, which has strong contrast between the lyrics and what's on screen. But
And the gang members in the grand.
yeah, in the hall and stuff, in the Sistine Chapel. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head that contrasts the actual visuals within the film very quickly and rapidly as we're talking about.
I think it's not really a mainstream like convention. That's why
It would be
it would
considered
be really
different.
abstract, but that's
Yeah.
for a niche audience because that's what they ask for.
Okay. I'm trying to think of anything else we can talk. We've got setting, we've got character.
Yeah.
We got shooting it.
Narrative, we kind of
We
talked
respect-
about it being random
Yeah, we don't really want to.
and not having a set narrative.
More on the image. What message? What's the message of our music video? What are we trying to put across?
Again, it's supposed to be this artistic thing, so I'm not sure there is a message really. It's more of a statement.
What main? Are there any main like images or things like that symbolize artistic?
Again, it's not
Something off the top
really.
of my head. We just have to put more research into it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, but it's more about what the artist wants. We're gonna have to consult with him and see what he wants more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. So we need to think about mise en scene.
So just the technical aspects side of it.
Yeah. So we've got the characters. And
Yeah.
So mise en scene, we've got the costume, and we've got the setting. Is there anything else we should figure out?